Hey, how y'all doing out there today? Listen, I ain't getting on to nobody, but I don't want nobody getting on to me. And the damnedest things bother me, but I also see the reason why people think the way they do, and I can kind of parallel it to other things that may be. I think we've gotten soft on a lot of things. I think we've gotten judgmental on a lot of things. Um, I think we don't. I think we talk before we research. We react before we know what we're reacting to. And I'm gonna take this little possum story and give it to you, and maybe this will put it in. Because for one, I got to clear my name, man. Y'all got me out there like I'm some possum torturing some bitch. When, as one brother pointed out, I said they were my spirit animal. Well, sure, they are my spirit animal. I never hurt this possum or any other possum. Don't do anything I don't have to do. So you're never in danger of your life from a possum. But my chickens are in danger of them. And I never hurt this one. I'm going to explain it, and I'm going to kind of show a few of y'all where maybe you might want to drink a little concrete and harden up. Because for one, anybody that wants to use the mother or nature against me or talk to me about it, hey, you might be right. But I live in it every day. So if you don't live in it every day, and you don't have to ward off predators, and you don't rely on a little bit of your food and all your medicine, and your entertainment and your buzz, all mine come from this planet. So when you want to talk to me about the mother, then fine. And like I said, you may be right. I am not the most knowledgeable man in the world, but I love my mother. I love my brothers and sisters. I call the critters. Y'all call them critters. I call them critters. Y'all call them the animals of the world. They're just little brothers and sisters, but there's also a cycle, y'all. There's a life cycle. There's a way things are. And many of us see that differently, and that's fine. That ain't the point of it. The point of this is to show you where y'all getting soft a little bit. Uh, and you might need to tighten up. I'm serious about this. So listen up. I'm trying to be cool about it. Y'all know that day I made that video about trapping that possum in that cage. Well, I had a dozen comments and even blocked one guy because he just literally cussed me and cussed my family, a family member of mine that talked about it. But just really ripping into me over just this video. Now, this video was me with a possum in a trap, and I'm holding it by its tail, right? He's still in the trap, and I'm poking him with my finger. But I'm really kind of like rubbing them and getting them to move, and I'm trying to tire them out. But what I was really trying to do was what you don't know the whole story. For one, possums hang by their tail. You cannot hurt a possum by grabbing his tail. You can jerk them around. You can flip them around. All they're going to do is play possum, which means they're going to play dead. They open their mouth. They keep that mouth open, and they growl a lot. And that's their way of warding you off. But even if he'd have bit me, so I knew this. That's why I didn't have a stick. Why I didn't have a knife or a rod and poking them. But what I was doing with that possum was I was pissing him off and letting him know that I was pissed off and that I had him. I had him where he didn't. I had control of him for a minute. And I was having my brother Mike over here film it for a reason. Was to let that possum know I was doing it right by my chicken coop over here, y'all. I know you can't probably see it. It's over there behind that. And I'll go get the chicken in a minute and let you see the back of her head. She's healing now. She finally got outside, and it's why I'm back to trapping them. But about 3 months ago, a possum just like that one got in that chicken coop. And what they do is they jump on the back of chickens and they bite their head and they drink their blood. I mean, it's the real world. And yes, possums are cool critters. I mean, I don't got no problem with possums, but they like to eat chickens. It ain't just the eggs. And this one had bit this one chicken's scalp and ripped it off. And I'll put a picture in here later on. But you can find it on my pictures. It's a scalp chicken, and it looks bad. It looks like Clarice, from the Silence of the Lambs. It's like, put some lotion on its skin. Well, this bothered us, and so I asked my brother Steve. They were talking about, Bill, how can we kill this possum? All we had was like a little BB gun and a bow, and I'm like, we ain't got to kill him. I said, well, let's just trap him, and I'll get him off the property by trapping. So I've already gotten 2 possums and a raccoon off the property and away from here. But when I get them over here by the chicken coop, and I fuck with them a little bit. I mean, you can say it like you want, but I ain't gonna kill them. I'm not gonna make them bleed. I'm not gonna torture them. I'm just gonna let them know, hey, I got you, and I'm right here, and you don't be coming up here unless you want me to grab you by your tail again. Now, y'all saw the raccoon video. That one ate some pecans, but that raccoons are very smart. He also saw Urban and Phoebe, our 2 good-sized dogs here, and saw that they were very interested in him. So, and he ain't been back. It's what you do out here in the mountains of West Virginia or anywhere where you got critters and they're not wanted. You don't go out feeding them. You don't play with them. You find a baby one and something happens. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all something about the mother. The mother will put things in front of you. A little critter like, hey, my brother brought this cat here. Look at Tornado. He's crazy. Look at him. He's all laid back. He don't care. Camo, we just found her on the side of the road. The mother will put animals in front of you to take care of. That possum. How you think he got in my trap? Possums are pretty smart. It's been here 3 or 4 days. I didn't even know there was no bait. But we started putting the chicken bag out again, and there's a possum in my trap. All of a sudden, I felt the need to put the trap out, which I knew they were going to be coming up. They smell them. To keep from killing that possum's what I'm getting at, y'all. I mess with him. He won't come back. He won't come back up here. It won't be nothing up that bothers him. The wild is the way it is. You got to learn. I actually learned that little trick from the Cherokee. But what they did was they would kill a possum and put it by the chicken coop for a little while, and that'd keep all kind of critters off. They do that with a fox, except they would put the fox or a coyote or even a wolf. But the Cherokee didn't deal much with wolves. But the coyotes that were over here and the fox that were over here, they'd cut an alpha's head off and put it on a pole. And some of the tribes out west would do that with a wolf so the pack wouldn't come in the winter and they see the eyes. They would pin the eyes back. The possum see a dead possum, they're not going to come around it. A lot of animals see another dead animal. People that have been here for a couple 100,000 years, they know this animal life better than us, and they've done things to not kill the masses, to try to keep from killing any of them. It's only people like the federal government that killed millions of buffalo just to wipe out the Lakota Sioux, because that's the only, the Sioux Indians were the only force to ever defeat the federal government right after the Civil War on American soil. They couldn't kill them, so they killed they killed their food source. So the governments do things like that, but I don't. This is the same thing in our life, y'all. Sometimes we got to get to a point. We got to have an uncomfortable or awkward conversation with a person to keep from having other things happening. I can't have that possum coming back, but I can't kill him. I got no reason to kill him. I'm not hungry. I don't need to eat him. He's not going to clothe me. He's not going to do nothing for me but pester these chickens, and I do live off the chicken. I get the eggs, and we don't eat the chickens, but we eat the chicken eggs. So we got a good amount of chicken, so we keep a good amount of eggs because we got 6 people that live here, so we need to keep good little eggs going, so all that's fine. But I had to have a moment. I had to fuck with something. I had to let him know his place, let him know where my place was in this, and I know he won't come back. And like I said, this is from knowledge from people a long time ago living with animals. But even with each other, we're not having conversations with people we should be having. We're not telling people what they need to stop what they're doing. We're so worried about hurting somebody's feelings or pulling their tail when their tail was designed to be pulled. We're so worried about poking them with a finger. When they go out in the world, they might get poked with a gun. They might get poked with a fucking bullet. You see what I'm saying? The world is harder than y'all think. So before you look at a brother and think he's some kind of possum killer, I was trying to save the possum. And my chickens at the same time, using old school stuff. I didn't use a cattle prod on them. Like I said, I didn't poke them with a stick. I didn't beat them. I didn't take him miles away from his home, even though I can't because I don't drive. I didn't take him away, from his environment, and I didn't want to have to change mine. So just to keep it simple, this is my side of the creek, and he stays over there on that side of the creek. And I could go over there. Hold on, man. I'll show you what I'm trying to say. See, it's right here. This is Shirley. And you see the back of her head? See how she's healing up now? Hey, looking pretty good there. Put some lotion on his skin. Well, that's what. Hey, there you go, bro. Saying we ain't trying to hurt nothing out here. We're coexisting. So when you got to coexist, you don't want that happening to you or your loved one. How do you keep it from happening without killing another life form? Because I didn't kill or torture a damn thing, and neither do you. That's what governments and evil people do. That's what rich people do. We don't do that, and I don't do that. The lesson in this, y'all, is everything ain't like you see on these videos or from me or especially from the news. We know what we see from them ain't the way it always is, right? Well, this was something some of y'all jumped the gun on. Sometimes I know they say you gotta break some eggs to make an omelet, but uh, we just got to toughen up on some things and realize that there's some ways of saving life, and actually, because safety is an illusion, and we can't defend and protect everything, but we can stop things from happening by having one ugly moment, so you don't have many more. You can have one good argument with somebody just so you don't have many more down the line. But you got to start saying things straight up. You got to start being real. They don't let this political correctness turn into where we can't talk real to each other. What happened to the fact that we could just talk real to each other, or say something in the moment, meaning well? You know, I ain't talking about being cruel, y'all. Like y'all thought I was being cruel to that possum. Well, I was. Some of y'all, we got to start understanding, listening to each other. And we get that kind of understanding, we can talk. Then there'll be less awkward moments, or even maybe no awkward moments, no bad moments. Because those are what causes the indecision. Those are what causes us to be mad at each other enough to where we will um, um, divide. We damn sure won't be united. We'll be mad about something else. All of this political correctness and this softening of our senses, and man, yeah, we want better for our kids. We don't want to see our kids get hurt. We don't want to see little animals get hurt. But some things are just as real as that. And some of them have those good results. I won't ever have another chicken get hurt again as long as I keep a live trap. I've never put one out and not checked it every 6 to 8 hours. I never let a critter sit out there long. I did let it sit out there one time for 12 hours because I slept in, but luckily nothing got in. But most of the time, it's 6 to 8 hours. I check on it constantly, and um, sometimes I just leave him in a place when the bait's gone. Like this one, he crawled in, but I still check on it. He wasn't in there long. And the results are I got him up here where he never going to want to be again by using the things on his body, his tail and his sense of smell, and him thinking that mouth and that growling was going to keep me from touching him. So when I touched him anyway, he's like, oh shit, he was on the verge of playing possum. Hell, I'm glad he didn't play possum, boy. Y'all would have had a heart attack and called PETA on me, wouldn't you? Y'all have had the damn ranger out here, Ranger Rick out here. Get Bill, man, he's killing possums. I tell you what, I do wish I would say I'd like to go the rest of my life just living completely off the land. But you know, one of the reasons why I don't is because that would entail eating things that I possibly wouldn't want to eat. But you can't tell me for a minute that there's not going to be times that come up in your life where you're going to have to make hard decisions and you're going to have to know what to do. Um, um, and that decision may be to eat something like a possum. That may be to eat some roadkill. That may be to eat, well, hopefully for some of y'all sissies out there, a can of beans that's the expiration date's going over. But serious note, what do you think we was doing 100 years ago? What do you think we was doing 50 years ago? And as far as the brother that wanted to, and yeah, I blocked you, and I'm not bringing you back. You're a rude son of a bitch, and people need to learn to check their mouth before when you get an answer back, then you can cuss me more. But you just kept on and kept on and kept on there, Ramsey. You know who you are with your possum picture, and I saw your possum picture profile and your possum picture wall picture, and I know you're ate up with possums. I wasn't being mean. I saved his life. But just getting all upset over one thing and not paying attention to the real problems that we have. That's another part of this, of making this video and pointing this out. It's not that we got to be mean or we got to be the monster that we're fighting to end things, but we do got to know the natural life cycle. We do got to know the way things are. You know, we do know that what we're living right now ain't gonna last forever. Like I said, 50 years ago, and this is what I was going to tell the guy. How old am I now? 54 years old. So 50 years ago, 49 years ago, I ate my first bowl of possum stew from my black mammy that fed it to me. Her name was Mammy, and I loved her to death, and she loved me, and I wish she was still alive today. I miss her. She was a great woman, a great one. Anyway, she made the best possum stew, and I never even knew it was possum stew. Then by the time I was 6, I had the boys in the barn, a young black boy and a young Cherokee boy with me, and they was poking a young possum with this long pole, and for some reason I didn't like that. It seemed like they were picking on them, so I went there and started fighting with them and scrapping. Well, I climbed up there and grabbed the possum by the tail because I already knew what possums were, and they never bothered me. I was a little over 6 years old. It was my sixth summer, so I was about 6.5 years old. So I got that possum down. I shook them, got him play possum, and got him down there. And from there on out, I would get possums for the black folks, and they'd give me either a nickel or a quarter. But then but I'd give them back the money, and they'd invite me to dinner. I ate with these people. This is what we ate. We ain't had no food. So, yeah, I ate possum before. It wasn't to be mean. It was to live. And plus, I was very young. I could do things at 6 to 8 years old, y'all, that some of y'all grown hunters. Anyway, that don't matter. That's some shit talking. But I just want to say that from that point on, I've been Waverly all. These black folks know exactly who I am. These Cherokee folks know exactly who I am. We had community. We ate together. That's why that possum got ate. I didn't even know it was my spirit animal until my spirit mother, Magda, a Cherokee woman, after my 12th summer, told me that it was my spirit animal, and I needed to look for guidance from it. I've never killed possums to hunt. I've never put dogs on possums. I've never cared anything about coons or possums because they're not the kind of meat I want to eat. But in saying that, when I was a poor kid, I ate possum. You're damn right. And also, I got to learn about them from catching them, so I know how to handle them. And the only reason I left that one in that trap because I wanted it to feel like I was in control and it was helpless. That's the only way I can keep that possum from coming back. That's their natural defense system. They play dead. If they get away, they won't never come back to the spot where they got messed with. So that's their instinct. So I know this. So yeah, I had to eat possum before, and no, I wasn't being cruel or nothing. But yes, the point is we gotten really soft on some things. So before you judge somebody on what you see, you can ask questions. But unlike Ramsey, wait till you get at least one answer. Gee, I'm sorry I waited an hour and a half to get back to you. Or however long it was. Oh, it was 10 hours. I'm sorry I waited 10 hours to get back to you. I'm not always online. I guess I got a lot of time to spend torturing possums. Possum loving something. Damn, this might be my spirit animal, but I think you got a little bit closer with them possums than I ever want to get. So that's for sure, but that's the whole other thing. Look, I love y'all, and the reason I'm talking about this is because I see the lesson in it. But also, how do I put this? My grandmama told me that all we ever got in our life is a good name. And part of my good name is that y'all know that I'm telling you the truth when I tell you that I love my Mother Earth. And that I love every critter on here, probably than I love you humans. And thank God you humans are animals, because I love y'all too. But my entertainment is those woods. My entertainment is playing with things around me. I love it. The people around me, I love to show them too. Now, I've gotten older and I ain't got no insurance, so I don't go around snatching foxes out of foxholes and climbing up in trees looking for trouble. But with coons or hawk's nest or something like that. But I've never harmed an animal with outside of hunting one to eat it or feed other people. And I've always stuck with the animals that were overpopulated, especially down in Georgia, where I hunted a lot of deer and a lot of feral hogs for people that wouldn't eat. Or they wouldn't even get food stamps, like old proud people. And you come up with a hog and you'd be like, hey, Miss Jones, I got y'all hog here. We don't need no charity, boy. I like it. They ain't got no food stamps and they ain't got nothing to eat. But they talking big. I say, all right, well, I guess I'll take it on down the street, throw it in the street, make it look like a roadkill. I ain't cleaning this hog. They go, well, since you're going to leave it in the street, Bill, bring it on up here. We'll eat it. Oh, boy, you can't be throwing hogs in the street. But things like that actually are better than that FDA food y'all eating or that USDA food y'all are eating right now. That's for sure. And the medicine I eat is better than that FDA stuff y'all get. So approved stuff y'all get. But I just want to keep us from, one, always being real no matter how much we're having fun. Never be afraid to ask a question. Never be afraid to question a brother on what he's doing. But don't jump out the gate with the hate. That's for sure. Don't ever jump out the gate with the hate, because you might be wrong. And when you come out pointing fingers, usually about five's going to get pointed back at you. What's that old saying? I hate to bring up the King James Bible, but it does got some great sayings. I will say that part. There's one in there that says, before you worry about the splinter in your brother's eye, you better worry about the board sticking at your own. And they said the board sticking at your own. So that's a big old board. That's a lot sticking in your eye. So remember that my good name means that you maybe not trust me, but know that I do live the way I live, and I do love this planet, like I said before. So I'm just taking up for myself. And I'm rambling on. I'm going to let you get and enjoy the rest of your Friday. It's payday. We'll talk to y'all later about some serious stuff. And But just wanted to get this possum issues clear. And I'm going to tell y'all, come on, toughen up where it's time to toughen up. We show a little tough love out there today, because tough love is ultimate love, because you're giving it, yeah, unconditional, but you're giving it your way. You're giving it from who you are. None of y'all were raised this soft. And some of you need to go back and start talking to your grandmamas, because I think your grandmamas or your mamas might be able to tighten your ass up. I never thought I'd say that to grown men and women, that they need to go talk to their grandmama, but I think some of these grandmothers out there are some of the toughest, most real people in the world. They know reality. And they know, but they also want what's best for you, so they'll coddle your ass. So you got to catch them in the right time. That's for sure. Grannies, grandpas, all y'all out there, all you elders, tighten them up. We got to get tough again. Tough times to come. Anyway, I love y'all. Peace, and don't worry about them possums, and don't live in fear. I love you.